So here we are, chats with John Scrivano, physician's assistant and obesity practitioner for over 25 years. And I just wanted to, for those of you out there who maybe feel shame, whether it's about using our meal replacements, or it's about bariatric surgery, or it's about looking at these drugs, as a woman who has been sober from the spirit of alcohol for 24 years, my belief is because I don't have to drink, the monkey mind, although I still have it and I have to meditate to manage it. But I think, John, you've seen addiction from the food perspective in a way that most people never do. And because you have multiple tools to provide bariatric surgery, you've had as an option, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
You've had the meal replacements. You've used those for over 20 years. And you've had, how long has the weight loss drugs been around? Let's talk about the weight loss drugs. And that is what we want to talk about today.
Okay, well, so relatively new in terms of their approval for weight management.
And popularity.
That's right. So right around, the right when COVID ended is about when these things were launched, with Wegovy being the first to hit the market. And shortly thereafter, the other product, Zepbound, which works a little differently. But again, these are, I want to say endogenous, but they're hormones that our bodies already make. But in some cases, we're enhancing that process with these medications. What they do is relatively complicated, but what the patient actually experiences primarily is a bit of appetite suppression, right? So, which, again, when we talk about how folks, when they come to us and when they come to me, how they feel about their body image, the failures that they've had with weight management through the years, it has been a real struggle. And when you identify that as being, that's the norm, right? I see the people that have been struggling for many years, trying to give them tools to help them to, it's not the individual that, has to lose 10, 15 pounds and has just recently gained it. No, these are folks that have struggled all of their lives, right? So when we talk about what tools to be used, these medications can help folks to some extent. It can help them, not unlike an antidepressant or not unlike medications that can help with other physiologic issues, because quite frankly, obesity is a metabolic problem, right? So to be able to address some of the hormones that regulate appetite and metabolism and absorption, right? All of that stuff is critical. And these medications can help folks relax a little bit, give them a sense that, you know what, I'm not a unicorn. I can lose weight. Now I've got to address the issues that got me here moving forward. But it absolutely motivates, not unlike people being on a nutraceutical, a very low calorie diet. Anything that we utilize to help folks get their weight off initially could be motivating. Many people that they don't have the luxury of a lot of time, right? Where I'm going to wait another year, 2 years to gradually lose my weight, 2 pounds, a month, 3 pounds, this type of thing, by changing lifestyle. Can we give them tools to help them, which may in fact be motivating and at the same time have a good safety profile? And that's a critical part, right? And that's what we're starting to see with these medications, is that we've got a 10-year or so history with them in treating folks with diabetes. And this is why this medication has taken off the way it has, is because clinicians like myself have been using it in a different population in the world of diabetes for the past decade. We know what it does. We understand the benefits of it. And now the floodgates have opened to a new population that can also benefit, and the medication has taken off, right? So, but we can't oversimplify, again, what it does for folks, right?
And to wrap this up, one of the things I heard you say is that long-term understanding it's like what's eating Gilbert grape. I've heard that for years. Like what's underneath the reason why people are having that addiction. And like I said, I just had to quit drinking alcohol. but I have to eat every day. So I
Right.
cannot buy certain foods or they will be gone. So I do know sweet addiction to a degree. I do know certain behaviors that I've had to cope with and help other people cope with as a coach. What do you say when you say the long term, they got to learn that? So they lose their weight. What are you
Right.
seeing, by the way, a week on weight loss? What do you see with, okay, so let's say
In
bariatric
terms of the
surgery.
medication?
Yeah, let's go over the differences. Are you seeing any differences between bariatric surgery, meal replacements, and did you call it Wegovy? Is
Sure,
that the one that you're
sure.
using?
Yeah,
Okay, and
Wegovy
then
is found. Yeah,
okay,
so basically so when it is a hierarchy, right, in terms of what can be expected with each intervention. And when you talk about, there's no doubt that bariatric surgery is the most efficacious, right, where you can be at 45% body weight reduction. Then in that algorithm, then comes the meal replacements. If we're talking about weight reduction over the span of 6 months to a year, right? That's really what we're looking at. Bariatric surgery, meal replacements, nutraceuticals, and now the medications available are starting to approach, right? 20, 22% weight reduction over the span of a year. That's basically what the length of the studies, a little bit longer than a year's time, right? So that's what folks can expect, those that respond. And this is what's interesting also. Not everyone is a responder to the medication, right? And I've seen this many times over, right? Where folks, I will have them on a very low dose of medication and they have a robust response, both in terms of their appetite suppression, but also in terms of potential side effects, right? Which every medication has. And we have
right.
to be realistic, right? And be able to articulate that to folks before they embark on this journey. What am I up against, right? What can I expect? So, but as far as these management medications, these newer medications, they are approaching 22% weight reduction over that year's time. Pretty astounding from that standpoint for those that will respond. Again, it's not always the case.
Okay, so what I heard you say, just to wrap up, is 20 to 22% on the medications versus 40 to 45% on the other two options, which is the surgery and the fuelings. What I'm
Yeah,
only familiar with is the fuelings
yeah,
because we provide them protein. They're
right,
not losing muscle mass, but with the medication, what I'm just learning from you is that because it takes a year and they're losing 20 to 22%
right.
in that time, if they're not maximizing the protein while they're losing weight, and this is for the general population, not for the small percentage that has to watch how much intake they have. But if
Right.
they're not managing their protein, they're muscle wasting because it takes so
Yep.
long.
No, they will get deficient. And that's what we
Oh, I
said
did not.
earlier. Yeah, that's what we said earlier about you cannot rely on the medication in and of itself.
Right.
If you have someone that has bariatric surgery, the things that have to happen post-surgically in order to support them from a nutritional standpoint is critical. Otherwise, they will deteriorate, right? Similarly, on the medication, if you are not supporting structural integrity, the nutritional component, you will deteriorate. I mean, that's the reality. And I've had folks come in and feel, even though they look wonderful, I've lost 20 pounds, but I feel listless. John, I don't know what the deal is with this. All right, how are you supporting yourself nutritionally? Because a big part of what the medication does is suppresses appetite. That's not absolutely what we're after here. That's not really the problem in the greater extent. The problem is much deeper than that, right? You have to learn the lifestyle interventions necessary for an integrated approach to wellness. That's what's critical. The medication is helpful, and you can use it as a tool to enlighten you as to where the deficits in your life really are,
Yeah.
right? Is it nutritional for me? Is it emotional? Am I exercising to the extent that I should? You know, again, it's not one program fits all, but it gives people a little edge
Yeah.
so that they can be a little bit more thoughtful, right, in journaling behavior and thought
Good.
processes, and then accessing the tools necessary, right, to help them in their journey. Coaching, critical. Being able to support people in their journey, right? But again, the coaching aspect of it, people have to take that responsibility very seriously. It's not just someone who's knowledgeable about a particular product or procedure, right? It really is understanding the complexity of the obesity problem and just general, wellness, and to be able to then articulate that to people in a way they can understand.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm going to put one more link below. We're going to do one more interview because I have one more question for you. And it's going to be kind of about what you've seen because you did share some juicy information there. And I just want to
Good.
expand on it a little bit. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.